Welcome to the video. First, we are going to reframe how you think about your first $250. Instead of obsessing over interest rates, we will focus on security, accessibility, and building the habit that actually changes your long-term financial trajectory. As we begin, remember that this first deposit is not about making income. It is about building a foundation. Now let us set the agenda and move step by step. Here is today's agenda. First, we will introduce the big idea. Habits matter more than pennies. Next, we will emphasize safety through FDIC insurance and zero fees. Then, we will run a quick high-yield savings account reality check with some simple math. After that, we will define your plan by clarifying whether this money is seed for an emergency fund or a short-term goal. Then, we will walk through a quick setup guide to open a high-yield savings account. Following that, we will compare options with helpful visuals. Lastly, we will test your understanding with short quizzes. Before we proceed, here is a brief disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Your situation is unique, so please do your own research and consider consulting a qualified professional before making decisions. With that clarified, let us move into the big idea that will guide everything else. Now, the big idea. Your first $250 should be treated as a foundation, not an income generator. The habit of setting money aside consistently is much more impactful than the tiny amount of interest you might earn at this stage. In other words, obsessing over a fraction of a percent in yield distracts you from the skill that truly compounds. Disciplined saving with a clear purpose. With that mental model in place, let us prioritize safety and structure. First, prioritize protection. Choose an account at a federally insured institution, such as one covered by FDIC insurance for bank deposits within applicable limits. This protects your money even if the bank fails. Equally important, avoid minimum balance requirements and reject any account with hidden or recurring usage fees. Fees can quickly wipe out any small amount of interest you might gain. Additionally, consider reputable online banks, which often provide higher yields than traditional brick-and-mortar institutions. Finally, ensure that the account offers fast transfers and easy access for genuine needs. Now that safety is clear, let us visualize how to choose the right account efficiently. Next, here is a simple decision path. Start with your $250 and verify that the institution is federally insured. If it is not, reject it immediately. If it is insured, check for monthly fees or minimum balance requirements. If any exist, reject the account because fees will erode your gains. If the bank offers a high-yield savings account, open it. If not, open a fee-free savings account while you continue searching for a better option. In either case, enable automatic transfers to build consistency, and clearly name the purpose of the funds, such as emergency savings or a short-term goal. With the path laid out, let us quantify the reality of interest on a small balance. Now, a quick reality check. At an annual percentage yield of roughly 3.35%, $250 earns around $8.37 per year before taxes. That number confirms the central message. At small balances, the interest rate is nearly irrelevant. What truly matters is building the discipline to keep adding to your balance and defining why you are saving. Next, let us look at a simple table to compare earnings at different balances and rates, just to anchor expectations. This table shows rough annual interest approximations using simple multiplication of principal by rate, before taxes, and without compounding nuances. At $250, even a relatively high rate yields only a single-digit annual amount. At $1,000, the increase is still modest. Only at several $1,000s do the figures start to feel more meaningful, and even then, the primary driver of growth remains your contributions, not the rate difference. With expectations set, let us translate this into concrete action steps for opening your account and automating your savings. Here are the practical steps. First, search for a reputable, federally insured online bank that offers a high-yield savings account. Next, verify the institution's FDIC status using the bank's official site or the FDIC's resources. Then, confirm that the account has no minimum balance requirements and no monthly maintenance fees. After that, open the account and link your primary checking account. Enable automatic transfers on a weekly or bi-weekly schedule to build regular contributions. Give the account a descriptive nickname, such as emergency fund or a specific short-term goal, to reinforce its purpose. Lastly, set a target amount. You might start with $1,000 as a buffer, and then build toward 1 to 3 months of essential expenses. Now that you have a setup plan, let us map your savings purpose visually to keep motivation high. To maintain momentum, map your purpose. Consider whether your first $250 will seed an emergency fund or a short-term goal. For an emergency fund, define a starter target such as $1,000 and a stretch target such as 1 to 3 months of essential expenses. Establish rules for when you can tap the funds to avoid impulsive spending. If it is a short-term goal, specify the timeline and the exact costs involved. Reinforce the habit by scheduling automatic transfers, conducting quick weekly check-ins, and keeping your accounts free of fees. With your purpose framed, let us visualize how much each factor matters in your early stage. This pie chart communicates relative importance at the beginning of your savings journey. The largest slice is habits and consistency, representing most of your early progress. Next are zero fees, which protect your gains by preventing erosion. Safety through FDIC insurance is essential as a base requirement. Finally, rate hunting matters the least at this stage because the difference in yield is small on a low balance. As we compare account types, keep these weights in mind. Here is a direct comparison. A high-yield savings account offers high liquidity, federal insurance through reputable banks, often low or no minimums, and a variable interest rate. It is well suited for emergency funds because you can access the money without penalties. A certificate of deposit, by contrast, locks your money for a fixed term. It is also federally insured through reputable banks, but it may have higher minimums and penalties for early withdrawal. The rate is fixed during the term, which can be positive, but the lack of liquidity makes it less appropriate for funds you might need at short notice. With that context, let us test your understanding with a quick quiz. Quiz time. The question is, what is the primary goal for your first $250? The options are A. Maximize interest income, B. Security and accessibility, C. Buy individual stocks, D. Time the market. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Security and accessibility. At this stage, your primary objective is to safeguard your funds and ensure you can reach them quickly if needed, while building the habit of consistent saving. Now, let us reinforce the impact of fees with another quick question. Second quiz. The question is, which factor erases small account interest the fastest? Your options are A. Monthly account fees, B. A 0.1% difference in annual percentage yield, C. No minimum balance requirement, D. FDIC insurance status. You may pause the video now to think about your answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is A. Monthly account fees. Fees represent immediate and recurring costs that can quickly eliminate the modest interest you might earn on a small balance. This is why zero fees are a non-negotiable requirement. Next, let us map a simple timeline for building momentum. This timeline lays out a 90-day momentum plan. On day 0, open the high-yield savings account and link your checking account. By week 1, enable an automatic transfer of $10 to $25 per week, or another amount that fits your budget. At week 4, confirm that there are no fees and that the account still meets your requirements. At week 8, ensure your account nickname reflects its purpose and review your goals to maintain motivations. At week 12, evaluate your progress and increase your transfer amount by 10 to 25% if feasible. With a clear progression in place, let us capture the key takeaways. Here are the key takeaways. Treat your first $250 as a foundation. Make federal insurance and zero fees non-negotiable. A high-yield savings account is an excellent vehicle, but your contribution habit is the true engine of progress. Automate contributions. Give the account a clear name to reinforce its purpose, and ignore small differences in yields at this stage. Review your progress quarterly, and increase transfers when you can. Now, before we close, let us summarize everything in one place. To summarize, choose a federally insured, no-fee, high-yield savings account. Automate small, steady transfers to build consistency. Define the purpose of your funds, whether that is an emergency buffer or a specific short-term goal. Accept the math that small balances do not generate significant interest, and concentrate on habit formation. Finally, reassess every 90 days and adjust your transfer upward when your budget allows. With that, let us close with a quick thank you and a call to action. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, please like the video, share it with someone who is starting their savings journey, and subscribe for more practical money guides. In the comments, share your first savings goal and the automatic transfer amount you plan to start with. Until next time, keep building the habit that compounds.